This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com. Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
Uh, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. John Fuller is in the studio. It is June 10th, 2015. More than any other host of this radio station, John Fuller's, the date that I tell you at the beginning of the show is important because he is an attorney, and after all, he does have to be in court a lot of times. So when you hear these live, that is a great opportunity for you to call in. So if your calendar says the same date as mine, which is June 10th, 2015, then you're listening to a live show. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy the rebroadcast. But this is June 10th. Call in if you have a question or a comment to John at any point. I will interrupt John and let him know with a hand signal that there's a phone call waiting for him. The number is 622-9622. And John, we haven't seen you in almost a month.
I know. We were just talking about that, Larry, and it's great to be back. And I want to say hello to all of our listeners, and hope they're having a good summer. Hope you are too. We have been busy, and a lot of things have conflicted with court hearings on Wednesday. So I miss being here, but I'm happy to be back. As we've said many times on this show, it's a show for our listeners to have a chance to call in if they or somebody in their family or friends have a legal question. We're very happy to try to discuss it generally. We practice at Fuller & Fuller civil trial law, business and commercial litigation law, and Social Security disability law. So if those are areas that someone has a potential claim or they think they do and they'd like to talk with us, they can certainly give us a call. Our number is 352-547-4292, or go on the website. It's ocala-lawyer.com, and you can get all our information on there. So we'd be pleased to try to help folks in an individual capacity. But this show has been a lot of fun. We're almost going on 2.5 or 3 years. I've lost count.
Wow.
And it's an opportunity. We've had some wonderful questions from listeners. We try not to get into too much detail because you really can't give meaningful legal advice without getting into all the specific facts. But in any event, I've missed being here. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you back. I can't imagine going into a courtroom without an attorney. It's like saying my car broke down on the interstate and I don't need a mechanic.
Well, you know, I agree with you, and I think that's a very wise and good premise to get protected and protect your rights. However, having said that, I do want to say that there are many cases that just economically do not justify the cost of a lawyer. And our judicial system has adopted rules, procedures, and forms to accommodate those. So, for instance, if you have a what we used to call small claims dispute, it's now called summary claims.
Oh, okay.
You don't really need a lawyer because the clerks are trained and they have a complete inventory of fill-in-the-blank forms. And if a person goes there and has a problem, somebody owes them money and hasn't paid them.
I didn't know that.
You can fill it out. They will assist you. They'll have directions on how to get a summons, issue a summons, get it served, take care of all of the details, and then you'll go to court. And the rules of evidence, while they apply, they are more liberally construed, and people can go in and first you go to mediation, and if that doesn't work out something, sometimes people say, yeah, I owe the money, I just can't pay it. So they are in a lawsuit in summary claims, and they'll work it out where the court will say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and We'll have a deferred judgment type thing. You work out a payment plan that with the mediator that the two of you can agree to, and when you finish making the payment according to that court-ordered payment plan, I'll dismiss the case.
Okay.
If you don't, I'm going to enter the judgment. That's one resolution where it saves people money, and you're talking about small amounts. Now, there's also in certain family law cases. Now, I don't recommend this in complex family law cases with major assets and businesses and things like that. And I do some tape of very restricted family law practice with complex issues. But they have forms, too, for family law for people who have no property, no kids, or just want to split everything and go their separate ways.
Wow.
And I know we have a call.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for calling and for hanging in there. You're on the air now with John Fuller.
Good morning. Always good to hear you, Mr. Fuller.
Oh, thank you. Good to hear from you again. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, a lot better. One of the things that Larry mentioned, which a lot of times people do kind of, I guess they gloss over, but especially when it comes to the landlord-tenant thing, a lot of times here lately, the way things are set up, when you have those type of disputes, it takes a little while, and the landlord usually end up losing, and all they get sometimes is an order, even if the person shows up. My question is this: having been involved in those type of situations, one of the things that I also noticed was that a lot of times when people have felony cases or whatever, when they go to those types of courts, because of their inability to afford attorneys, it appears that a lot of times they end up taking pleas, even sometimes when they're really not innocent. Is that a bias on my part, or is that really the case? I'll hang up and I'll listen to you.
Well, as always, I appreciate your calling. Your questions are a little bit like an onion. You peel back one layer, and then there's another layer, and they're with multiple different areas of the law, which I can't really take enough time to address everything. Landlord and tenant is controlled by a specific statute, and that's what's going to control. And the courts, there are provisions in there for how you go about evicting a tenant if you're a landlord and they have breached the lease or haven't paid the lease, and that is something that is taken care of pursuant to the Florida Landlord-Tenant Statute, and it spells out what you do and how you do it. The question or observation that you made about the criminal justice system is pretty complex. Ever since the case of Gideon versus Wainwright, which was a Florida case, went before the Florida Supreme Court. We just celebrated the 50th anniversary of Gideon about 2 years ago. And, it said that anyone who is arrested and charged with a crime is entitled to effective assistance of counsel as a constitutional right. And and if you can't afford one, the court will appoint one. Out of that grew the Florida Public Defender System, and these people are the most admirable lawyers I think you could ever find. They work for not a lot of money. They handle huge numbers of cases. They deal with very difficult, stressful cases. A lot of their clients are in jail, and they do a good job. I understand the reality that people who are able to have a lot of assets to hire a defense team with multiple experts, investigators, highly skilled, long-time experienced criminal defense lawyers. Yes, they probably do get a different work product. But those cases don't come along every day, and most people are not in a position to afford that. So the public defender does an excellent job. Then you mentioned plea bargaining. Well, whether or not a case is should plea bargain or shouldn't plea bargain is something that has to be decided after very clear investigation, discussion, and the decision is always up to the client. And there is a risk benefit. The last very large 2-week felony criminal trial that I tried a few years ago, which involved a double DUI manslaughter and
wow.
double vehicular homicide, the client was looking at some 31 or 2 years in jail if he was convicted. And the plea offer in that case was for substantially less jail time than what he was going to be sentenced to if he lost. I cannot advise people on that. It is their life. I advise them of the strengths and weaknesses of their case, what are the sentencing guidelines and the punishment, and here's the best plea deal that I've been able to negotiate. What do you do? In that case, my client elected to turn down the short amount of time in jail, roll the dice with a jury, which was a very admirable jury who worked very hard, and they found him not guilty on all counts, and the judge dismissed 2 of them for the prosecution's failure to prove the basic elements, so the jury didn't even get to consider that, or didn't have to consider it. That's a real horrible decision that I hope and pray that no one listening to us, none of our friends, family, or anyone
really.
ever is in a spot where they have to do that. But there are times when someone says, it's a much better choice for me to accept a plea bargain, even though I maintain my innocence,
Right.
but it's in my best interest to do so. And that can only be made with very thorough analysis, and then the final decision is always the client's.
And you have somebody online. That was a very impactful story. We're up against the break, but let's get the caller on, and maybe you could answer after the break. So
Yeah,
we
sure.
get the question first. Good morning. Thank you for calling in for waiting. I didn't want to make you wait any longer.
Oh, that's okay. Good morning. I have a little bit of legal trouble I'm in. I was ticketed for leaving the scene of an accident. I crashed a car into a cement block wall near my home. I left the car with
Well,
all the
let me
information in
just
it,
stop you
walked
right here.
home.
Let me stop you right here. If you're looking at any kind of a criminal case, you should not be making any public statements about any of the facts. You should talk to a criminal defense lawyer before you make any statements. So if you're going to, and I know you haven't identified yourself, but nevertheless, you do not want to be making public statements to any third party because it can cause you dire consequences sometimes. So you need to talk to a criminal defense lawyer before you seek any advice if you are in a position where you are a target of an investigation or you have been arrested and you have a criminal charge pending.
I wasn't arrested. I was ticketed, is all.
Well, I don't know without seeing it if that was a criminal offense or a traffic offense.
It was a misdemeanor, I believe.
Then that's a criminal offense. And what I said before is very important. So I'm not trying to not help you. I'm trying to protect you. Okay? And I encourage you, don't go tell your neighbors or your friends and get their opinion or, the people you work with because you may inadvertently say something that could be taken out of context and used against you if you went to a hearing on it.
Well, my plan is just go to court and plead guilty. So,
well,
and just throw
you
myself
may
on the mercy
want to
of the
think
court.
you may want to think twice about doing that because there's a big difference if there's an accident involved in the consequences of pleading guilty versus pleading no contest, or what is sometimes called nolo contendere, which is the Latin version for no contest. If you plead nolo contendere and the judge accepts that plea cannot be used against you in any kind of subsequent civil action.
I see.
Okay? Hope that helped.
Do you handle these types of cases?
It depends. Right now, probably my schedule would not allow me to take a case like that. I've got 3 or 4 very, very big, time-consuming trials coming up over the next few months. But I'd be happy to, if you call the office, I'd be happy to give you the names of some very competent criminal defense lawyers.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
All right. I think you helped them out a lot with that. All right. I know we have another call coming in. Caller, I've got you hooked up right now. You'll be next. Let me take a break, and we'll be right back with John Fuller.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, more clouds and sun with a couple of thunderstorms around. The high 85 to 87. Partly cloudy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm in places near the coast during the evening hours. The low 69 to 71. For tomorrow, periods of clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around from late morning on. The high 84 to 88. Then on Friday, partly sunny with a high of 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Ooh, ouch. Does pain have you glued to the couch? Yes, unfortunately it's true that every year we must get older, but that doesn't mean we have to deal with pain in our back, knees, or shoulder. If your muscles and joints are sore, don't worry anymore. Come get acupuncture from me and you'll be pain-free. Acupuncture starts as low as $35 at a Better You Healthcare. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at 615-5566. Stop your pain from driving you insane.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then, I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
All right. This is why we love your show, John Fuller. John Fuller is here, and you have a call waiting patiently. And we're done with the break, so let's go to your caller. Good morning. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air with John Fuller.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for being patient.
Yes, sir. You made a statement about public offenders being very impeccable. I got a son that got arrested for a violation of probation, and they give him 10 years, took him to trial. I hired a high-dollar lawyer. He lost. I could see that the judge already had his mind made up. Plus, he stole a $100 couch out of an abandoned house, and we didn't even know he went to court. And he went to court with a public defender, and they told him, if you don't take 25 years, you're facing 25 years if you don't plead guilty. If you plead guilty, we'll give you 10 years. We didn't know anything about it, so they got him to take 10 years, run concurrent with his other 10 years, with no gain time from the other gain time. You call that fair?
Well, there's no way I can answer that question. I know nothing about the case. Before the court can legally accept a valid plea offer, the court goes through a very meticulous investigation of questioning of the person who wants to change his plea from not guilty to guilty. Under oath, they ask him, are you competent? Are you an adult? Are you doing this freely and voluntarily? Have you discussed all of your potential defenses with your attorney? Has your attorney explained to you the benefits and risk of taking this plea against going to trial? Do you realize that if you take this plea, you are waiving your right to a trial, waiving your right to call witnesses and confront the evidence against you, waiving your right to a trial by jury? And are you doing this knowingly, willingly, freely, and voluntarily? Has anybody coerced you or promised you anything for this? It goes on and on and on, and the person answers all those questions, and if they do that, then that's a valid plea change.
We know, but did the state have a right to threaten him, tell his lawyer, public defender, if you don't take the 25 years, if you take it to trial, you're going to get 25 years. If you take the plea today, you get 10 years. They scared the kid.
Yeah, it's an adversary proceeding, and the prosecution has the right to say, we will offer a reduced sentence plea if you take it now. If you don't, that offer is withdrawn, and we will be seeking the statutory maximum or the top of the guidelines or whatever. That happens all the time. Yes, that is an adversary. That's an adversary proceeding, and that's where the difficult choices are.
And they're not.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
I'll tell you.
Thank you for calling.
You have a good day.
Wow. So, and at this point, there's nothing else you can do then. I mean, once
I don't know.
Once the judge makes his mind up, right?
I don't know. I don't know. If there are cases where people try to set aside pleas, saying that they got bad advice of counsel. They were having some kind of a transient psychomotor episode and didn't know what they were doing. But this colloquy of a plea change is boilerplate. I didn't even finish it because I was getting too tedious. The guy seems to think that it was something that was unusual or whatever. I don't know the facts. What was the evidence against the defendant? What was the chances of getting convicted? Who was the trial judge? What do the sentencing guidelines say? He obviously had a prior criminal record because this sentence was to run concurrent with a prior criminal case that he had. So all those things affect the sentencing guidelines. I don't know the nature of any of the defenses. So that's why this program is not suitable to try to give that information.
No.
And there are procedures in the Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure for filing a motion under Rule 3.850 for post-conviction relief if there is some new evidence that's been discovered that wasn't despite due diligence,
right.
If there was some other constitutional grounds that were not raised, or if the defendant was not competent to knowingly change his plea at the time.
The one thing that I love about this is that we get to see you in action. I mean, this is probably just a small sample of what you are like in the courtroom.
Well,
and I think it illustrates for us why it's important to get an attorney. Can we squeeze in one more? We got about 3 minutes. You okay?
I'm happy to try.
Good morning. You're on the air with John.
Hi. Thank you, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Very good, thanks. Real quickly, can a lawyer go in front of a judge and ask to be excused from the case if he finds out his client has not been honest with him or for any other reason?
Yes. If there is an irrevocable conflict between a lawyer and his client, the lawyer may seek to withdraw from the case on the grounds that there is an irrevocable conflict. He cannot tell the judge what that conflict is, but he will certify that he is not able to continue to represent that client, and they will let the lawyer out.
Would the judge appoint another lawyer for the client?
It depends on the facts. If it was a privately hired lawyer and the person had assets to go hire another lawyer, no. In order to get a public defender appointed in a criminal case, you have to be indigent.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling.
Oh, wow. How many public defenders do we have in Marion County?
I honestly don't know. They're young people mostly.
Right?
The Bill Miller, who's the chief assistant, is one of the finest criminal defense lawyers in Florida. He's been doing it for probably 25 or 30 years. He's the head of the Ocala division of it. They have a lot, and they all carry huge caseloads, and they're all dedicated people.
Wow.
I admire them all.
Ken, real quickly, can I ask you something that you said earlier? You said something about going to the clerk and getting a form for some basic legal thing.
Yeah, family law, a real simple divorce, and summary claims.
So that sounds like when you go to like some of these stores or online and you buy a form, that really you're paying money you don't need to pay. You can get it.
We're talking about two different things, I think.
Oh, we are.
If you're going to go, these online legal form things are usually for do-it-yourself wills, do-it-yourself corporations, do-it-yourself partnership agreements, and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's different.
This is different.
Okay.
This is litigation.
All right.
Yep.
John,
Okay.
gosh, we missed having you, and this is why, because we love having you.
You're very kind. It's great to be here, and thanks everybody for calling.
Exciting radio stuff. Before we say goodbye, real quickly, can you give out your phone number, please?
Yes, 352-547-4292, toll free, 877-527-7750, website ocala-lawyer.com.
All right. Thank you, John. That was great.
Thank you.
All right.
Enjoyed it.
We'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Some findings into the deadly Amtrak crash near